March 1st, 2008.
Richard 911, what's your emergency?
This is Tommy Gaston. I've got a man that's been shot. He's out here at my house now.
Okay, so stay on the line. I'm going to contact you, Champion, okay?
Okay.
A desperate knock echoed through the darkness. When the neighbor opened their door, they found a man collapsed on their porch, covered in blood, gasping for air, barely clinging to life. He had dragged himself through the freezing Texas darkness for over an hour, refusing to die before he could reveal the truth about what had happened to his family. The neighbor immediately dialed 911. When investigators arrived, they listened in disbelief as he gasped out a name. Not a stranger, not some masked intruder, but his own 16-year-old daughter. This is one of the most brutal family annihilations in American history. They say blood is thicker than water, but sometimes the people we trust most are the ones we should fear. This is True and Twisted, where family bonds become deadly betrayals. The girl in question is Erin Caffey, just 16 years old, and on that night, she did something so awful that no one could have imagined. She finished her entire family in one single night. What makes this case even more twisted is that while her family was dying, Erin waited calmly in a getaway car, listening to the screams coming from her childhood home as it was set ablaze. Terry and Penny Caffey seem to have built the perfect Christian family. They met through their shared faith and married young, settling in Alba, Texas, where they became pillars of their community. Terry worked as a youth pastor at Miracle Faith Baptist Church, while Penny devoted herself to raising their 3 children and supporting their husband's ministry. The couple had 3 beautiful children: Erin, their eldest daughter, and 2 sons, 13-year-old Matthew and 8-year-old Tyler. The family was deeply religious, homeschooling their children with a Bible-based curriculum and attending church multiple times per week. From the outside, the Caffeys appeared to have everything. But beneath this picture-perfect family, teenage rebellion was brewing in ways that would lead to unimaginable horror. Erin had been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, which was one reason for homeschooling. But just 6 weeks before the murders, the family had made the decision to enroll Erin and her brothers in public school. But the real catalyst came from an unexpected place: a job at the local Sonic drive-in, where 16-year-old Erin met 18-year-old Charlie Wilkinson in 2007. Charlie lived with his father and stepmother, seeing his biological mother only once or twice a year. He was troubled, older, and everything Erin's conservative Christian parents feared. The relationship moved quickly. Charlie gave Erin his grandmother's engagement ring as a promise ring, but when Penny Caffey noticed it during a church function, she demanded her daughter give it back immediately. The final straw came when Penny discovered Charlie's MySpace page, which contained references to profanity, completely against everything the Caffey family stood for. Erin was forbidden from seeing Charlie again. Most teenagers would be heartbroken, but Erin Caffey chose a different path entirely. Rather than accepting her parents' decision, she began plotting something horrifying. According to investigators, Erin and Charlie planned the murders for an entire month. She even told a former boyfriend that she wanted her family dead. In her twisted teenage mind, murder was easier than waiting 2 years to turn 18. In the early morning hours of March 1st, 2008, the plan was set in motion. Charlie Wilkinson arrived with his friend Charles Wade, a 20-year-old who brought along his girlfriend, Bobby Johnson, to serve as the getaway driver. At around 3 a.m., Terry and Penny Caffey were awakened by the sound of their bedroom door hitting the dryer in the adjacent laundry room. But it wasn't an accident. It was Charlie and Charles, armed with guns, entering their home. What happened next defies comprehension. Penny Caffey was shot first, then repeatedly stabbed with a samurai-style sword until she was nearly decapitated. The attackers showed no mercy to a woman who had done nothing more than try to protect her daughter from what she saw as a dangerous relationship. 13-year-old Matthew woke up to the sounds of violence. Just before being shot in the head, Terry heard his son screaming. The boy recognized his sister's boyfriend. He knew Charlie. He had probably eaten dinner at their table, attended family gatherings, and now Charlie was murdering his family. 8-year-old Tyler was repeatedly stabbed with a samurai sword by both Charlie and Charles. A little boy who should have been dreaming about video games or school friends instead became the victim of unimaginable brutality. Terry was shot 5 times and left to die, and their house was set on fire. But Terry Caffey refused to give up. Driven by an incredible will to live and a need to identify his family's killers, he crawled out of the burning house, a journey that took over an hour. Meanwhile, Erin sat in the getaway car with Bobby Johnson, waiting for her family's screams to stop. After setting the house on fire to destroy the evidence, the 4 killers fled to a mobile home owned by Charles Wade.
Where people are saying it is your idea to kill your parents, that you were emphatic to kill your parents. They would say, let's just run away. I mean, hell, come on, let's just run away. No, I want them dead. Are they all lying?
You know, every young girl said, oh, I wish my parents were dead, but I didn't mean it.
They probably thought they had committed the perfect crime, but they were wrong. Terry Caffey made it to his neighbor's house, where 911 was called. Despite being shot 5 times, he was able to give investigators crucial information about what he had seen and heard, including the fact that he recognized Charlie Wilkinson. All 4 suspects were found and arrested the same day as the murders. They were hiding in Wade's mobile home, probably celebrating what they thought was their freedom. Charles Wade, Charlie Wilkinson, Bobby Johnson, and Erin Caffey were all charged with 3 counts of capital murder.
But here's what we know from the forensic evidence. Charlie crept into your parents' bedroom and just started shooting them. They shot your mother in the head twice. These are bullet wounds in your father's body. Have you seen these?
The evidence against them was overwhelming. Forensics, witness testimony, and the simple fact that Terry Caffey had survived to identify the killers. Faced with the possibility of the death penalty, all 4 defendants eventually accepted plea deals. Prosecutors announced they would not seek death for Erin because of her age. In January 2009, Erin Caffey received 2 life sentences. She will be eligible for parole when she is 59 years old, meaning she will spend the majority of her life in prison for the murders she orchestrated at age 16. Charlie Wilkinson and Charles Wade were spared the death penalty after accepting plea agreements, receiving life sentences without the possibility of parole. They will never taste freedom again. Bobby Johnson, who served as the getaway driver and did not use a weapon, was sentenced to 40 years in prison and will be eligible for parole after serving 20 years. But perhaps the most remarkable part of this story isn't the horrific crime itself. It's what Terry Caffey chose to do afterward. Initially, Terry was suicidal. He had lost everything: his wife, his sons, and the daughter who had orchestrated their deaths. When he returned to his former home alone for the first time since the crime, he looked to the sky and said, "God, why didn't you take me? Why did you take my family? I need an answer now." Then he saw a piece of paper stuck to a tree with the words, "You're sovereign. You're in control." At that moment, Terry made a decision that would shock everyone, including prosecutors. He chose to forgive. When prosecutors told him they were seeking the death penalty for Wilkinson and Wade, Terry proclaimed that Jesus would have spared their life and told prosecutors that their deaths would not bring his family back. Terry now ministers full-time and has visited 600 public schools and 800 churches to share his story of forgiveness. He has remarried and has 4 children with his wife Karen, rebuilding a life that was completely destroyed by his daughter's actions. Erin has been interviewed several times from prison, including by journalist Piers Morgan in 2016. When asked why she did it, she struggled to provide a coherent explanation, often seeming detached from the magnitude of what she had done. The case has been featured on multiple true crime shows and documentaries, serving as a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, even within our own families. Charles Wade has expressed remorse for his crimes, but the damage was done long ago. 3 innocent lives were lost because a teenager couldn't accept that her parents were trying to protect her from a relationship they believed was harmful. The Caffey family murders remain one of the most shocking cases of family annihilation in American history. Not just because of the brutality of the crimes, but because they were orchestrated by a daughter against her own family. Remember their names: Penny Caffey, Matthew Caffey, and Tyler Caffey. Remember that Terry Caffey showed the world what true forgiveness looks like. And remember that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like your own child.